That's, sorry, my 2 cents. I probably went a bit longer than I should have.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
Thanks for that. I'm sure that will be addressed. I'm going to hand over to Graham now, if you're ready.
G'day. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Hi, and thank you for that iPhone. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name up, but thank you. It was an interesting story, and I've heard a lot of them lately. Look, I assume most people now know what the QMS is. You've had a chance to go to the website. You've heard about it from someone, but I'm going to do a very brief, quick rundown on what the concept is, just so any newcomers who've come along have an understanding of what we're talking about. So the quantum management system is it's basically a people solution. It's a referendum-based voting tool. It's an application that we use to put forward our own suggestions for policy or changes to policy. It is a method for us to learn about policy. So there's a social media platform built into it that as the policies are developed, information would be put into there. So the way that it essentially will work is we will have an encrypted voting app that at this stage we're talking about basing it in blockchain, although we are talking to security experts and there's many options out there. So we're having a look at what will be the safest way to keep everybody's information safe. The idea is to decentralise and decorporatise the country. So give it back to the people, take it out of the hands of those that have stolen it. We do this ourselves using the QMS. Now, nobody runs the country. I'm not a politician. This is not a political party. We have no interest in making money from you. In fact, if you look around the site, there's nothing that costs money at this point on the site. We don't need it. We've built a website. We're building the tool. The tool may cost money, but if you guys join us and come with us, we can get that from the Treasury down the track to pay for it when it's needed. So we have to have a referendum when we get to enough people. Enough people at this stage is around 8.5 to 9 million people, voting age. People say, how are we going to do that? Well, tell them about what the app is, ask them if they trust the government, and ask them if they consider an alternative. It's the simplest way. You'd be surprised that I have more trouble selling this concept to people from our movement than I do to the mainstream people. Mainstream people love it too. They all hate the government as well. They just may not be as outspoken as we are about it, or many of us are about it. So the QMS is web-based. What you do is you log in, you put your information into it. It's like it stores it within a blockchain. At this stage, we're calling it a sovereign key, but essentially there's a code that you use to access that information. Only you have access to that information. It can be connected to financial systems and things like that, but again, that's not on our purview or interest. That will come down to what the people want it to do when the time is right. We're building a tool. So what we want people to do is join us, help promote what the concept is, tell everybody that there is an option to the two-party political system. We, the people, can control our country without the need for politicians, without the need for governors, without the need for people to tell us what to do. We'd still have public service. Our public service would be run differently, though, because what we're doing is inverting the pyramid. We don't overthrow the government. That is not anything that we want or even talking about doing it. There is no overthrowing here at all. There is no violence. There's no danger. There's nothing illegal, unlawful or illegal. I see Graham in there. He would have hit me for saying that.
Don't say that.
So look, it's peaceful. It's safe. We're voting with our feet. When you go to the shops and a particular shop is ripping you off all the time, you find a better shop. Right? You go there, and that's all we're doing. We're offering an option to the two-party political system where we run the country en masse. So you will propose the policy along. Every Australian will propose policy in the system. The system, when it sees 1,000 of the same type of requests coming in, and this is where we have the machine learning involved. We have said it's AI. Apparently AI and machine learning are two totally different things, something I wasn't aware about when I wrote the document. However, even AI will work within certain constraints if you do use AI. What will happen is we'll have, so the information will come in from people via the social media and other, so there's also a phone-based app, and there could be other platforms that information comes in from as well. It will also be fed into it via the public service and by experts within fields of particular industries. Now, not ones that stand to make money. We want volunteers to assist with setting up, at the moment, structure for the new systems. And later on, when the system's working, once 1,000 people want a policy, it will start coming up on the news feed. When 10,000 people like that policy, and there'll be a thumbs up button and a thumbs down button there. If the 10,000 who want it is higher than the number who do not want it, at that stage, a board of experts would be called, and that would be through people who are patriotic to their country and want to be involved in the development of policy and the development of their country and feel they've got something that they can give. There'd be no financial incentive to them because that's a volunteer role. There's no, we don't think, I mean, obviously you need a taxation system to pay for things that are done by the country, but that can be changed into a different type of thing altogether. You have one tax, instead of a million different ones. And I mean, if we've got registries and that sort of thing, you could bring the rates down on them massively. And I mean, do we need registries? That's the questions that people need to ask. We're suggesting a step back lawfully to the 1901 Constitution. That does not mean that the laws change. That does not mean that we're going to a white Australia policy or that there will be anybody, doing anything harmful or anything that goes against common law, basically. That's the basic concept. We start from there and let the people run the country. I mean, initially it's going to take a little bit of time to change over and the current system needs to sort of peter out. But as the people come on board, we can develop a lot of that policy. We can have everything ready to roll. We get to our 8.59 million and bang, we hold a referendum. Now, we all know that number may drop because there's a lot of people getting the vaccine. So there might be a lot less registered voters by that time, sadly, and that might actually make it easier to bring this in. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we will have to get to 9, even 10 million voters to get it. And hopefully we'll get them fairly easily because it's as I say, it's not a particularly hard sell.
Can I just jump in there, Graham, for a second?
Please, mate. Yeah, go for it.
Everyone should realise too that there's a lot of talk around at the moment about certain political parties coming in and rescuing the country. That's not going to happen because everyone knows that to actually form a government, you must have the majority of seats in the parliament, and that equates to over 12 million votes. So for those who think that political parties can come in and make a difference, they can't. We've done all the numbers. We've assessed everything, and it would be almost, well, if it happened, it would have to be done by fraud because it's the only way that they would get past the two-party system and get a majority so they could form a government. And if anyone thinks that having another party in there is productive, it's not. I mean, I can reel off many names, and this is not derogatory towards them, although they are guilty of treason. Nick Xenophon, Darren Hinch, Corey Bernardi, and then you've got Pauline Hanson, you've got other people like Rick Bosey and Craig Kelly, and all these people, they say they have the best intentions at heart. And I've said to each one of them, if you have the best intentions at heart, then don't take money off the taxpayer, because if they get elected, they get $1 per vote over 3%. So that's just putting more taxpayers' money in the pockets of people who say they want the best for Australia. We don't believe that. What we do believe is that people should have the opportunity to have a vote that counts for something. And the QMS platform will give you that chance. We've got something that we can't announce tonight, but something that is going to give every lawful elector in this country an opportunity to get involved in an action for the reintroduction of rule of law in this country. Now, this will steamroll throughout the world once we get it up and running, and that's just a little taste. So you'll come back next week. No, it's not a marketing. It's not a marketing pitch, but the thing is that we have to engage everyone. Every lawful elector in this country, we have to engage them. And the only way to do that is to give them an option, a choice between the two-party preferred system, which has been operating since 1908, and we've never had anything other than a red or a blue government. They say that doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, is insanity. So are we insane, or are we going to wake up and just realise that the two-party preferred system is two wings of the same bird with all the shit in the middle, and it's not going to change unless we, the people, change it. For those of you who don't know about our Constitution, we have the right to change our Constitution under Section 128, but you have to go to your local member and ask them to put a case forward in the Parliament to back what you want to do. They just don't do it. We've tried over decades. Trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. Wayne Glue's been doing it for a long time. It just doesn't work. We put pressure on them all the time, and then they'll pop their little heads up every now and then and give you a little scrap. I call it the poker machine mentality, where they give you a little win to disguise what they're really taking off you. And we can see that happening now. In this country, I am disgusted with what we call our peacekeepers, the people who are supposed to serve and protect, for shooting Australian sovereigns in the street with rubber bullets. And what are those other things called, Graham?
The beanbags as well.
Beanbags, shooting people, shooting peaceful protesters, and they wonder why people retaliate. It's disgraceful. I'm 66 years old. I've never seen anything like this in this country ever. It's just not the Australia that we want. So if you want that sort of thing, you stick with the two-party preferred system. But I can tell you now, it ain't going to get better. It's going to get worse.
They shot Matt Lawson today with them.
Yep.
Rubber bullets. So,
and that's the end of my sermon. And I know Andy wants to say something.
How are you, Andy?
Guys, yeah. I mean, I've been involved with you guys, I feel, since the start. I'm actually stuck at Brighton at the moment. We got dragged off the piece at 12 o'clock today because of some of these Iraqi images. I don't know what it is, but so we were away on holiday for a week at the Heights. But what I've got to say is the monetary system that we are sitting on at the moment is made as a military script that was put in place in '66, and the only way they are managing to keep going at the moment is because they are giving you notices. They are claiming from our Westville Trust, and you may not comprehend what I'm talking about, but if you're doing some search on CQV Trust, you will possibly get a comprehension of where I'm coming from. They can make a claim on your trust even if they don't get a payment from you, because we're in a debt society at the moment. So it's quite a nasty scenario. They'll give you a ticket, a notice, which you have 72 hours to reply to. And this is the issue at the moment. They will still make a claim from your QuestTV Trust and print dollars back against it. When you look at America, and I'll just give you this as a quick example, 1/5 of all the dollars printed in America were printed in 2020. This is inflation. And you will see how everything is getting more expensive. Every step, every time you go to the shops, you'll be spending a little bit more of your currency because they are making it more expensive every time. Your fuel is going up. If they related the true cost of living to the things that we spend, which is probably, big spends, fuel, alcohol, food, you would see that those things have gone up dramatically over the last 4 or 5 years. I'm a commie. I came here 15 years ago. I love this country. I've known Graham for probably 8 years now, Graham Jeffs, and we've been in touch and had coffees and sat and tried to discuss how we're going to move forward with this. This is the first thing I've ever seen that could potentially make this country back to what it should be. So I really am behind the QMS for the simple reason. It's the people, of the people, for the people, by the people. And that's what I've always said to Graham from day one. That's what it's got to be. That's what it was supposed to be. back
Yep.
in 1901, 1900, whenever the Constitution was put in place, and it should always be that. So, people, you're welcome to ask any questions you want, but a two-party preferred system is never going to work. You've got to change the system. It's got to change the system. It's never going to work because they're both under the banking. If you can comprehend, the banking is in control. The parties are either paid or they're blackmailed to do what they are doing, and you can see them doing it. They're backing off each other backwards and forwards, and they're holding states to ransom. You have a right to travel. You have a right to make a living. You have a right to live. You have a right to live somewhere. At the moment, you own nothing. You don't own your house. You don't own your car. When you register it, you give the ownership to the government.
Yep.
When you actually write out and you're an informant for your child, you're giving your child to the government. This is so wrong. If I'd have known half of this when I had my children, I would have never done anything. I would never have got a birth certificate for them. They have there is a world trust there that we should all be part of. And we should all get an income from that world trust, which is from the assets that come from this world. And you've got 20 million people dying of starvation around this world, each year, which is ridiculous. Yeah. I think that was the figure. I might be wrong. Please forgive me.
It doesn't matter. One's too many.
One's too many, yeah. I mean,
from starvation,
we can all live together. If we can just start to comprehend that we need to love, protect, be friends with your neighbours, look after each other. The snitching that's going on is just disgusting. It just does my head in. How we can not be together and connect and have a love for each other to move forward in this world. So, guys, there's got to be something different. The only thing I can say is change the system, and within that, we've got to treat it with the people that we, and I hate to say this, I came here 15 years ago. The land was stolen. I can't see any other explanation for what we did when we arrived here. An invasion, yeah, and we slaughtered. We've stolen their children. And this is not our fault. We can't be responsible for it. We didn't do it.
We didn't do
None
it.
of us did it. But we've got to make it right.
Exactly.
Someone turning around saying sorry just doesn't cut it, mate.
They don't want that anyway.
I'm sorry.
They don't want that, Andy. No.
Yeah, no, they don't. Graham. I'm with you. I'm just trying to explain how I'm feeling, and we need to get in touch with the earth of this land.
Absolutely.
And connect with it. So go connect with your local originals. Find your lawmen. Find the old aunties. Ask them to adopt you, because if they adopt you, they can give you land legally, lawfully. And legal is a very tricky word. Let me just explain to you. What legal means is the undoing of God's work in the Law's Black Dictionary. That's what it means, the undoing of God's work. So lawfully is the word I'm trying to use. So, guys, I've been involved with this a little while, and I really do believe it. I've been involved with constitution groups. I've got 2 constitution groups with over 4,000 or 5,000 members. Guys, we just need to connect. We need to realise that these guys are not working for us. They're working for somebody else. I'm going to leave it there. Come back with questions if you need to.
Cheers, brother. Appreciate it, Andy. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Look, it's a hard thing. I mean, we actually want all the people of Australia. We don't care what your nationality is. If you're born here, you're Australian. If you came to live here, you're Australian. We don't nationality. How long you've lived here with, or your ancestors go back here. More to the point, they're issues of the past. What we have now is a country that needs to change. It's going down the toilet really rapidly, and the future doesn't look very bright. Most of us know that, right? But we don't want to sell you fear. We want to sell you hope. We have something that we can change that with. We've got a system that if we bring enough people in, we get everybody involved, and you guys, like you people all you people with the beautiful hearts, with the beautiful thoughts and minds that I mean, we've got some brilliant people out there, and we just need you all to come forth. We need you to stand with us. We need you to be part of what we're building, be part of the change that we can actually create in this country. We've got some other people there that would like to speak. So I'm going to bring Michelle in next. If you'd like to unmute Michelle.
Yeah. Hi there, Graham.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to meet
you. I'm pretty good. Just a quick question. With the 1901 Constitution, we should ought to make sure that we keep the Section 5123A, because that's in regard to the mandatory medical conscription. So would that be something that?
Okay. First of all, the Constitution as it sits at the moment is way out of date. It really needs a good updating or even replacing. That's up to the people. But when we restore the Constitution, we restore it with its preamble, clauses 1 to 9, the sections 1 to 128, and the 8 lawful changes by referendum. That will not change because only the people can change that. So once that gets restored and that sits on the QMS, we can then have constitutional conventions or whatever we need to have to garner the will of the people. And once that will has been sorted through the QMS, which is one vote for one referendum, one vote. That's it. Then we can get the true will of the people, and then we can make the changes we need to make so this never happens again. But we would never, ever change anything that would be less effective than that's already in the existing Constitution. It will be more effective. So medical conscription, any type of conscription is unlawful in our Constitution. We know that. And we certainly wouldn't be letting that go. That'd be just jumping out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yes, we would have CIR, I'd imagine, citizens initiated referendum.
Well, first of all, let me tell you that you're not a citizen. If you're a citizen, you're a slave.
Okay.
Citizens are of the citizenship, which is maritime law. We are sovereign, we are crown, and we are Australian nationals, if you want to call yourself that. But we have to get out of this narrative and this language that we've been conditioned to say. I mean, a lot of people think the word citizen is not damaging, but if you're an African American, calling me a citizen is like calling an African American a nigger. It's a derogatory term. It's a word for a chattel.
To answer that, I'd say we'd have a QMS initiated, people's initiated referendum.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the system that the QMS system will be built in such a way that people will be able to have within a framework real-time input into everything at every level of decision-making process in this country. So council and shire, state and commonwealth. So we don't know what that's going to be called yet, but we know the structure was set in place by the framers of the Constitution at the will of the people back in 1900 and then brought into law in 1901. So we know the will of the people back then was what they wanted at the time. Now, yes, we have to respect the First Nations that were here before us. We don't apologise because we weren't there, but we do recognise that they were the First Nations, and we absolutely want them included because they are Australians. If there's any Australians here, that they are. So we want them
help them tell their true story.
Exactly. Yeah. We want to bring their heritage forward. We want to bring their social fabric forward. We want to show their culture and their cultural history as part of our Australian history, because it is. And we're not happy. Not that we're not happy. We're not proud of what happened back in 1788, but it happened. We can't change it. So was that the right date, by the way? 1788.
I think it started around then.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what we do want to do is we want to give them, and when I say them, all of the First Nations people through their elders, a say in how we build the QMS. We just have to find them, because at the moment there is so much distraction in everything that we're doing that we don't know if we're talking to an elder or an activist. and we don't want to talk to the activists because the elders that we do know tell us that they don't want money. They don't want property. What they want is respect for the land, respect for their culture, respect for their heritage, and to put back in more than you take out. So that's what they want.
Of the system. They want to have a say, and like all, so it's
inclusive.
And that's what we're saying. Like there shouldn't be. We should all be Australians, whether you're an original Australian, an Australian, you know, an English descendant Australian, an English immigrant, it shouldn't really matter. Once you live here, you're Australian, and once you're born here, you're born of the soil. You can't help where you're born. I was born here, and like, you know, I'm not going to be punished for something that allegedly, and I don't know if my ancestors were part of it or not. I certainly hope not. But you know, if they were, I'd be horrified. But by the same token, I'm not them. I'm me, and that's what we're creating. We're drawing a line in the sand for everybody in Australia to say, hey, we've got a new future ahead of us. We can create it ourselves. We don't need a government structure like we've had. We don't need to be stolen from. We don't need to have our rights taken away. We don't need to be imprisoned in our own homes. This country, the whole legal system is based on the original penal colony system that it was created to be. We're still convicts, and to this very day, look at the people allowing them to lock them down in their home. It's and wear masks. It's just sad what it's become. I've got some more people I'd like to bring in. So I'd like Michael from Clear Party. You're next, mate. How are you? Good to see you, bud. You'll have to unmute, buddy.
Very good. Yeah, I just unmuted. Can you hear me okay?
I can, mate. How are you?
Am I too loud?
Yeah, you're always too loud.
Always.
How are you, Mickey?
Oh, that's okay. You should see my new jacket. Hang on.
Oh,
Stands out in the crowd.
Oh my God!
I couldn't make
Should we let him in here, Graham? He's a politician now, isn't he?
Oh yeah, we might have to piff him out. I think.
You might have to piff me off. Okay, just to fill in everyone else, Clear Party is a party to end all party. Basically, it's not your average party, and I put it together about 6 years ago now. And once I'd had a good discussion with Graham and Graham, they recognised what I'm on about is very much what they want to do, which is we have a forum where 75% of our members agree on the law. It doesn't go forward. Now, that doesn't mean all members have to vote. Anyone who chooses to vote regarding that specific issue, that's how we're going to run it. And so when I ran my idea across with Graham, I saw automatically how we lined up, and we actually will be working in the future to work on some form of amalgamation. I'm really pleased with what Graham Turner's done so far, as well extremely pleased with what the Aussie Patriots role with Graham Jeffs has done. And so what you'll find is there are many people amongst our group who are doing the same things. We just may as well just come together and work and hone in the tools we have so far. Now, just to let you know, at Clear Party, just briefly, we're going to have a multi-platform platform where you'll have your own Facebook, your own.
You know, we're going to put you out
YouTube. Will have no, that's okay. Well,
become obsolete.
Our forum, thank God, now we've got someone that's like Graham Turner here who can just run with it with the team that he's creating at the moment, which is really good. It's just a weight off my mind that there's one aspect to our multi-platform. I don't have to think about it much. Yeah, when you're CEO of a group, you've got to get a basic understanding of what's going on, but then you get the professionals to work in. And with us, we've got an amazing IT team. We're building that, and you will see changes to the website in the future. Now, just briefly, I noticed Matt was here. I know Eileen here, couple of people I do know. If there's any news regarding today, has anyone heard? Was anyone hurt today? Because I couldn't make the rally.
Is Matt Lawson in?
I've spoken to him. He's fine.
I'm here. I'm good.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
There he is.
You don't look too bruised up.
I got a big one. Check this. Check.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, you're joking me.
That was
you
from
can get that, mate.
They shot a fist-sized beanbag at me from about 2 meters away. That's what their intention is right now.
Yep. Disgraceful.
And they're doing it. They're working for the government. That's what they're doing.
Because you're protesting a lockdown.
Peacefully. Yeah.
Matt, did Motti get hold of you?
Sorry.
Matt? Did Monty
was
get
that?
hold of you?
Graham, can I just quick second? Graham, I noticed you've only got 100 in the room. Did you manage to expand the room before? Or
No,
not? Leith's
unfortunately.
not in here.
No,
I've got
yeah.
heaps of people coming on now too.
I was trying
Yeah,
to set it up as a webinar, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure how to. As I've mentioned before, I'm pretty new at all this. It's new tech to me.
No,
so
that's fair enough.
it's still
I was
set as a meeting.
I was hoping Leith might be in, but she doesn't seem to be in at the moment. She may be trying, I don't know, but she was.
Yeah, she said she'd only listen in anyway, Andy.
Yeah, well, shut mate. That woman, she puts in the words at the right time.
If
She's pretty
anyone
cool.
knows how to convert a meeting into a webinar once it's in process, so that we can bring the extra people in, I'd really appreciate your help if that's okay. Just tell me how to do it. Send me a chat message and tell me how to do it. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, sorry, Matt. So yeah, I saw some of the footage today, and I heard John there. And yeah, I can understand the vernacular you're using, buddy. I would too, to be quite honest. Geez, that would have been quite a shock to see that in first hand.
I think the big thing is the crowd was very peaceful as always. Came around the corner and they just had the riot gear and whatever else, and they literally in their mind think that they're doing the right thing by working with the government. They're the government pawns instead of working for the people. And there was actually a police officer, and it's on video, where he said, okay, pussies, here we come, before they started shooting into the crowd. So the mindset is disgusting, and that's why we need to do this. We need to get this QMS, change the system, because the system's totally broken. I never thought I'd see this in Australia ever.
Me either.
Absolutely. This sort of stuff won't happen when the people run their country. Sorry, Michael.
You know, it was totally heartbreaking that there was one time I couldn't come, and it was just so full on. Because I spent the last 7-8 days in town. I live 200 k's, as you both know now, out in the amphitheatre, and you know I just can't keep neglecting my family. And so after being away for 7 days, I finally came up here. I caught up with Haji Eilish. He mentioned they were firing the rubber bullets. I couldn't believe it. I spoke to him over the phone. Graham, do you mind unmuting Eilish just for a second? And then we'll get back to...
You can unmute yourself.
Sorry, who?
Okay.
Eilish.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, good.
How are you,
I'll just mention, look, I caught up, I got on the phone with Haji today. He mentioned he was there. He said the rubber bullets came out. And look, I didn't know about those beanbag things. You know, this is incredible. Did you hear anything from your end of the woods?
Haji, when it started to get really rough, Haji and Robin got out of there. Yeah, they were together today. And yeah, I think they went up to your office actually.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it got a bit rough. But Matt, I'm so sorry to see that you got so violated.
That's all right. And the only thing I did, I walked towards them with my arms up above my head, and I said, "There's women and children behind us. You need to put down the guns." And as soon as I got the sentence out, they started shooting. And it's interesting to me that I would have thought there's an edict to say. The show of force should be against whatever the force is that's coming towards you. I mean, we had no weapons. We were peacefully protesting against lockdown. So I don't know. For me, as I said, the system's broken. I don't care about taking one for the team. All of us will take one for the team. And in real terms, protesting is not the way out of this, but you know, it is an arm to it. But the most important thing is to get numbers. We just need numbers, and we need people stepping into this idea and moving through into this new system, because once you put the power back to the people and they realize they've got it, that's going to be a big change. Just quickly, I wanted you guys to know, in the last 2 days, I've had 4 interviews with people that have had the jab that are coming across to our side because they've got such bad side effects. So they're actually saying, we need to fix this. So we're going to get heaps of people that have already had the jab come across to us, and we need to be ready for them.
Well, I think we're going to end up running this Q&A weekly for a while by the sound of it, hey, Graham. So,
I think so.
I'll get it set for the webinar for the next one so that we can make sure I get everybody in. We've hit our 100 and we seem to have stopped there. So obviously, I can't get in.
Well, I've had a few messages saying people can't get in, but
We are recording the meeting, so
Yeah, cool.
We'll be out on
Yeah.
put it up on QMS and our other channels later on. So,
Matt,
Can I
Matt,
just talk, Graham?
yeah. Sorry, who? Oh, is that you, Penny?
It's me.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
Penny.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Matt, just with you talking about some people coming in that have had the jab and they're having bad side effects, I do have quite a good protocol for that now. So happy to help any way I can if you want to get in touch or they want to get in touch. Also
100%. I think a couple of them got that test that shows you how many microclots you've got, and they're both covered in microclots. So
Wow.
they need help straight away.
Okay. So I've got something. Everyone, if you're having side effects, and also now we're hearing on the news, I don't know why it's on Channel 9, but today I heard that they're actually admitting that shedding is coming from the Delta is coming from the vaccinated. So I don't know why there's suddenly a switch in that news broadcast coming through. There's always something behind something, right? Is that a way to keep us locked down, like everyone, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, possibly?
Probably.
It's control, fear and control, and
so and fear. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
there could be some truth in it too, because I actually do believe that that's happening, that shedding. So stay away from anyone that's vaccinated. And I do have a fulvic acid that has very, very good properties in it that will grab onto the nanopack particles and get rid of it out of your body. Unless you've had like 3 shots, it will grab onto that graphene oxide. There is another protocol that goes with it. But, get in touch with me and I'll let you know.
If you look on the news feed on the website, I believe, Penny, you've posted
it's on the website. It's in the news feed under health. I'm in the health team. So that's another thing. I just want to reach out each Saturday. Anyone, we've got doctors, nurses, if anyone here is qualified in any way with medical or, natural health. I'm a nutritionist and health and wellness coach. I'm a frequency healer.
Oh, and
so
Penny's also
please get in touch.
She's doing a support group. Did you want to give that a quick plug while you're
Sure.
on
Well, let's get in touch too with Karen or myself if you want to get involved in the health team. We're going to start to have meetings soon and grow that within the new system. Like, let's balance it out. Let's get rid of all these pharmaceuticals and bring everything in as a balanced health system, how it should be. Let's kick the big pharma out. Like Graham, I told you, little pharma from now on, okay?
You've got your mental health support group meeting as well.
And mental health.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday night.
Just briefly, Penny, can you type into the chat that address to look at, please, for everyone?
Well, it's on the...
Everything is on the QMS website.
On the website.
Oh, it's on the QMS site.
Really,
okay. Fine.
In the health team there, it's all there.
Really,
it's also in the QMS support group, Facebook group.
Yeah. All right. Now we've got some more people talking. So I'm going to try and keep things moving along.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a bit more info we need to get out as well around the QMS, if that's okay with everyone. So we've got Shauna Baker from WA there. Would you like to unmute yourself and have a chat?
Yes. Hi, Graham. Hi, everybody. I've got a few things to say now because of people who've been saying things, but I'll keep it as quick as I can. Firstly, Matt, I'm absolutely horrified to see the bruises on you. And, he's not there at the moment. I'll go on to something else and come back. There is 2 things that you can take to help with blood clots, and that is glutathione and a product called NAC. It's N-acetylcysteine or something like that, but they know it as NAC and glutathione. Both of those, glutathione is an amino acid. They will help to break down all of the rubbish in your body.
Could I also ask you, Shauna, to post those on the news feed on our website?
Yes.
Just so that everybody can get it directly, and that way, because people forget it, they'll be madly scrabbling for paper at the moment trying to write things down.
Certainly, I can do that. I also have a website that I can't get to right now, but I can certainly email that to you for doctors all around the world who are actually giving out or prescribing ivermectin for protocol for the COVID. So it has names and countries of all the doctors around the world who are actually giving it out. So they are basically against, you know, what's been going on.
We've got somebody in the background too who must have their microphone on. We can hear your TV coming through. So I just ask everyone just to check that they're on mute, and if you're not, pop yourself on unless you're speaking. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Matt, if he's there, I can't see him, but if you're there, Matt, I don't know if you're aware of it. You probably are, but arnica is wonderful for bruising. You can
Thank you so much.
You can buy arnica cream, and you can also buy arnica pilules. So you can take both. The pilules will work internally for the bruising that's gone right through, and the cream will work amazingly if you rub it all over the bruise.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Oh, you can get it at like Chemist Warehouse. Most health shops and all that sort of thing would have it, and it's not that expensive.
No worries. Thanks for caring. Thank you.
No problem. I'm horrified to see what's happened to you. The whole thing with the Australian police has absolutely horrified me. I can't believe that they would
lay cabbage leaves on it too.
Yeah, that's good too.
Things are out of control. We've lost it with the government, unfortunately.
Yes, they're disgusting. And the main thing that I wanted to ask was, given that we have a national election next year, I believe, if the QMS is not ready to go forward to a people's referendum, how do we move forward, you know, with voting and so on?
So we keep building the system. No matter what happens, we build the system, okay? So things will happen. Change will come, but the systems, that's the tool that gives us the point we can change. We need the membership to get there. So we do need to keep building the numbers. We need to promote it. We need to, we had, Tim Dwyer in last week, and he's got a suggestion that if everybody goes, actually visits 5 of their friends, sits with them, explains the basic concept of the QMS and what it is. So it's a system of self-governance. It is based in a democratic political system because we're giving power to the people, but it's not democracy. I've coined the term, and Graham and I have a laugh about it, a quantumocracy, but somebody called,
so we're making up words now.
Yeah. So, well, you're allowed to do that. Anyway, what it all works on is the will of the people. So whatever happens moving forward will become what the people want. So once it's out there, and look, I recognise that at the moment, without educating people and without the expert boards to properly educate people, we'd all be getting the jab if the QMS was the system of preference within the current fear environment that we have, right? So we've got to get people to understand that there's an option. We can't necessarily stop them being scared of a flu or a cold. That's going to happen, okay? I think that horse has shot the gate. What we can do, though, is we can pick up the people along the way. We can put all of our health remedies into the QMS newsfeed. We can put it in the health section. We can share it amongst the people there. We can build a new health system using teams to get together and discuss the structure. And we can create new policies that we can eventually put forth within it to have a popular vote on. So, but nothing can come into play. Nothing becomes lawful and legitimate until we have that referendum where we decide that the QMS is the system of preference and that we're done with the current system. So it's about building the numbers up, getting enough people who, and look, it's not that hard. Matt has been going out talking to people. I think Penny's been doing it as well. I've been doing it. We're all meant to be filming it, although I must admit I've been a bit slack on that. But what we need to do is ask the question, and it's a simple question: do you trust the government? Because I mean, honestly, how many people do you know that will say yes? Right, not very many. I find, look, I had to go to court a few months back. I had 7 people sitting around me. We all got chatting. There was a woman in there for a mask fine, and believe it or not, she believes in the virus. I wasn't awake at all. None of them were. There was a guy there that was in trouble for towing a trailer, and just really stupid, petty things that you know, his trailer had run out of reg or something, and he was in a world of pain for it. We got talking, and I actually told him about the QMS, but I started it out with, do you guys trust the government? And there's a guy from Israel there, he was a Palestinian Israeli that was there, and he was talking about the people over there don't actually hate each other. He said, we get on fine, we're all neighbours. He said, it's our governments that cause the wars, it's our governments that turn the armies on each other, and it's our governments that cause all the death and destruction. So, I mean, if you look at it, governments take your money, they kill people, they send people off to war. Whose war? Why are we fighting wars in other countries? Surely we need an army to protect our own country. But why would we want to go fight somewhere else, unless, of course, we're helping someone? And I don't mean helping someone invade. I mean actually helping a country defend themselves, or helping a country, you know, rebuild itself. That's what you send your army there for, not to destroy something.
Move on.
Yeah. Anyway, so
and just to add on to the end of that too, Graham, as we get closer to a federal election, can everyone that's not speaking please mute yourself? Graham, you can do that.
Yeah, I've just done that when they came up then.
Right. Just so that everybody knows, we will be working on systems and concepts based around the next election. We don't have anything now because we're busy with what we're dealing with at the moment, but we will be working on that. And if anyone's got any ideas, they can post them on the website. Anyone's got any ideas about anything, we want you to post them on the website, because we don't know what you're thinking until you tell us. So it's very important.
System of the people, for the people, and by the people. It can't be that without your input.
Exactly.
Okay? It's not mine. It's not the two Graham show here with Karen and you know, Matt and Penny and the people and Andy, the people at Bacchus, you know, Wayne Blue, etc., etc. And look, the list of names has gotten very long on who's involved, who's helping, who's supporting, who's promoting, and you all know a lot of the names on that list. I'm not going to sit here and drop names all night. That doesn't really matter. What matters is we now have an option. We've got a lawful option that we can use. We can step aside from this current Westminster system, and we can create a new society, a new law system, a new healthcare system, a new aged care system, a new education system. We can do what the people actually need rather than wasting our time following this process of this corporate entity that we all exist in and that we're all owned by and owe money to. I mean, at the end of the day, wouldn't it be nice to put the QMS in place and then all turn around and have a vote and say, let's reset the finances and hand those bastard politicians over to the people they borrowed the money from, give them to the World Bank, let them be the collateral on the money that they borrowed, take the assets of the country, share it equally among the people, maybe put some into the treasury and share the rest equally among the people. You've just changed the whole playing field completely across the board. There's so many things we can do from here. It just takes people that want to be involved, that want to change the system and want a better life. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, look, and a lot of people know this, I've never voted. I don't follow politics. I hate politics. And please excuse me if there's religious people in here of any kind. I have nothing against religion, but I see religion and politics have been used for a very, very long time to control us. It's important to accept that, yes, we have a creator, but I accept that I have a soul, okay? So I'm not taking anything away from anyone who is religious. I'm just saying that it just causes so much division, and at the end of the day, government and religion are about putting people in a mind frame to make them do what they want them to do, not what the people want to do. I believe in individuality of thought. I believe the best solutions come from many different minds, not from a small group of minds. It's many minds together create the best possible solutions. So one person can have a great idea, but they can only take that so far by themselves. And that's what I've done so far with the QMS. Graham and Karen and Matt, all the others have come on board along the way. And there's some wonderful people who've given me a boost up along the way as well to get it to where it is. I mean, like, honestly, it only takes one person to start change of any kind. So it could be your voice that puts forward the next big change that we need for our children, for our health system. You just don't know. You don't know unless you get involved and you put it in there. And that's
Graham,
what I'm asking everyone to do.
There's a question there from Nick as to where are we with the QMS, the build. Nick, the building of the QMS is the shortest thing to do. The biggest issue that we have is gathering the people, and that's why we're telling people this is what's going to happen. What happened today to Matt? What happened today in other states? We haven't got information through yet, but we know other people have been injured. The thing is that this is going to continue to go on whenever people stand up for their rights. And if that's okay by people, then I don't know what they're thinking. But the build is a 3 to 4 month build for the actual system. But testing and everything.
Yeah, testing, yes.
Yeah. But it's the people that we need, Nick. So it's not the technology that build that's going to take the time. It's the people, the 8.6 million people that we need. To change it. And now that's going to grow exponentially. I mean, we've had literally thousands of people, and we're not going to telegraph numbers because we don't know who's on the call, but we've had literally thousands. We have a reach of just under 1.3 million people, but we don't have that many people transitioning into joining us at the QMS so that we know who we can count on. So that's the goal of everyone, that is to, and Tim Dwyer put it so succinctly last week, everybody knows 5 people. Everybody knows 5 people who feel the same way. You just do. You might not think you do, but you do. And if you can bring 5 people to the QMS, then those people bring 5 people, and so on and so on and so on. Exponential growth is very quick. We estimate 6 to 8 months to get the numbers we need. So it's over to everyone else. I mean, we're working feverishly to get the message out, but we need help, and it's as simple as that.
Absolutely, and that's what we're saying. We need. If you're not already a member on the site, jump on and join us, because it's the numbers that count in this. And by bringing your friends there, it's also, look, we've got a social media platform. It's censorship free. There's a forum where we can have discussions about certain topics, including the ones I've mentioned before. We have additionally we now have a legal assistance page as well. Sorry, I'll just read that one too. We have a legal assistance page now, so that you can go on the website, and there are some documents there and links to various legal services. I invite you to have a look in there. There's some good information in there, and some of the documents in there. There's some stuff Jackie Dundee's provided, some stuff that's come from Graham and Wayne. But yeah, look, it's a members only section for members, and the reason we do that is because we want people to come and join us, because we want to get these numbers. We've got to get these numbers if we want to change. And unless you want to create, look, there's many ways of changing a political party out. Most of them will leave, it's swapping one for another, or it's going to leave some sort of vacuum there, which will be filled by somebody that you probably don't want filling it.
Exactly.
The way to take.
Basically, we're building a foundation. We're building the foundation for how we're going to move forward. Now we're going to take what was already put there, which is a constitution, and look at it and remap it to what the people want. It's their decision. This is of the people, by the people, for the people. So
absolutely,
all we're doing is building a foundation, and you guys who are listening tonight, you just need to bring your friends along and say, what do you want? What do you want this country to be? I'd love it to see it to be a very self-sufficient, loving country where you're friends with your neighbours, you've got your white picket fences again, you can afford to put paint on it, you can afford to put food in your belly, you can have fun at the weekend, and you're not working, 60 hours a week to make ends meet. You're not got two members of the family working 40 hours and your children in some daycare because you can't afford to do anything else. This is
trying
wrong.
to follow 9
So
million
wrong.
pieces of legislation. It's ridiculous. I know that.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Andy. It's crazy.
Questions, Graham?
Yeah, we've got Karen. Karen's been waiting a little while with her hand up, so I'd like to bring her in if everybody else doesn't mind. Please come in, Karen. We'll hear what you've got.
Oh, look, this is just, I know it's your first go, guys, but honestly, we've had a massive day trying to, digital warrior stuff from home, getting all the footage together for all the marches and everything to make sure that It's the good side, not what mainstream media show. Looking for great clips of in the sunshine and in the parks and sharing hugs and walking together in just lovely sunshine instead of what you see on mainstream media. So yeah, sorry, full day. But if you're going to continue with this sort of thing, we need, first of all, show your full name on the top of this, not all these nicknames of rubbish. We need full transparency and full disclosure. I am reluctant to share with people that have these made up names. It's quite terrifying because I was ready to share some information about our stat decks and what we've designed to keep people out of jail and out of trouble for mask exemptions. And when you see false names on here, I'm wondering if there's somebody here that could be a cop or somebody that does me in. And I'm here to hear about QMS, and all I'm seeing is all these health advice on the side, about one of which is arnica. You touch one drop of arnica on me and I'll bleed to death. This is not a format where you should be giving medical advice, homeopathic advice, naturopath advice, although I did, in the end, put up a thing here. Have a look at chlorine dioxide, which has been well looked at to do with the post-jab and pre-jab, only out of frustration of seeing people recommending stuff that is not right for human consumption. You're going to kill people. That's not what QMS is about. When I joined you, Graham Jeffs and my God, Wayne Galoo, God love him. It was way back when it was just Aussie patriots or sovereign patriots and learning about common law. This tonight has gone way past that. You're talking about things that are just out of the realm of possibilities. Right now, we should be looking at how we help each other and march for truth, march for freedom, stop our bloody kids and grandkids being forced jabbed, how to get away without being masked, and how to do it legally.
Well, Karen, can I stop you there? Karen, can I stop you there?
Passports.
Karen, can I stop you there? That's not the forum for this meeting. This is a QMS meeting, and we need a moderator for a start. You're right, but we're not giving any advice. People were trying to reach out to Matt, and Matt will take that advice if he wants to. It's not really advice.
We've got Penny Johnson right over here. I'm qualified to give advice for safe nutrition.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's not why we're here.
QMS is.
No, that's exactly right. Nor is it. Nor
individual members offering assistance through their own experience in their own professions. And look, I've got nothing against people offering help to each other, but you're probably right. This probably isn't the correct forum for us to be discussing anything like that at all. And look, I know Graham would agree with you on the basis that some people do like to keep their identity a secret for various reasons. And there is a lot of suspicion out there at the moment.
Well, you just said you're recording the meeting.
We are recording the meeting, yes. So we record all our meetings at the moment because we're trying to be totally transparent. I've gone off camera at the moment, so I'm having a cigarette, and I just didn't want to have one on camera in front of me.
I've watched people in their bed and eating their salad and all sorts of things. I mean, I didn't come here for this. I'm done. Sorry.
All right. No worries.
When you do a Zoom like this, it's an open forum. You can't.
Doesn't matter, Matt.
Yeah, you can't ask for people to have their specific names or anything else. This is open to the public, and it's a transparent system. The idea is to bring in anyone you want. So you're never going to have people with their real names. That's just silliness. Silliness.
Yeah. I'll speak to her tomorrow. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, she is right in a way. This isn't a place where we're giving health advice, right? We're talking about a new system of managing the country, and we should be staying to topic, and that's probably what's upset her, and I understand that.
Just let it go, mate.
I'm sure she's got a lot to offer as well, so we'll get her back on for sure.
Yeah,
she's a JP. She's a JP. She's a JP. She's a JP. She's very involved in helping people with affidavits and getting their what do you call them? When you don't have to wear something. What's it called? exemptions and things like that. Yeah. So she's specifically in one space at the moment, and she wanted to talk about the documentation. This is not the right forum for that. We'll get her into the legal team.
It's interesting. The documents she mentioned, I uploaded to the website earlier today, so they are actually there if anybody's interested. If you're going,
I'll talk to her. She's obviously had a big day and she's a bit grumpy, so I'll have a talk to her tomorrow. So don't worry about that. But if people can just keep their microphones muted, and if anyone's a moderator or wants to be a moderator, we need one, so that we can keep an eye on that.
Had a few offers. It's more on my ability to run the system properly. I'm still learning how to use Zoom.
No, you just make a moderator, mate. That they can, if they know how to moderate, they can do it. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, well, in that case, see if I can make Karen one right now.
Yeah.
You can have a moderator on 100. You have to have a bigger group before you end up being moderators on it.
Oh, we just make him a co-host. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing.
Maybe you can do that. I don't know. I couldn't on my group, and I'm up to 100.
Yeah, we need to. Obviously, we need to get bigger numbers, but we'll work on that. But look, the reason we're here tonight is purely and simply to give people an understanding what the QMS is. The website is there if you want more information. You can ask questions on there as well. We're not going to be getting dressed up in suits and ties here. So if that's what you're expecting from us, it's never going to happen. So, what you see is what you get. We're passionate about getting our nation back. That's more important to us than, perhaps combing our hair or whatever. So, if people are offended by that, we don't mean to, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, we can't keep everyone happy all of the time. That's not what we're about. We're writing a new system where you guys get to make yourselves happy. I mean, like, happiness is an individual thing. Where you're coming from is entirely up to you. We get that. Everybody's got their different stresses at the moment and their different concerns. Many of us share them at the moment in various areas. Look, that's just part of life, and it's going to happen. At the end of the day, we believe we've got a really great solution. Both Wayne, Blue, and Graham Jeffs have stated that what we're doing is lawful. Totally fits within the implicit. What's the term you use there? It's within the ideals of the original Constitution of 1901.
It's compliant. It's compliant basically with the Constitution as it sits at the moment.
Yeah. So
lawfully. Yeah.
We're not suggesting anything illegal. We don't want to perform any acts of violence. We don't need to be involved with politicians or politics. We don't need. I mean, look, as I mentioned before, I don't vote. I never have and I never will. I don't pay fines and tax. I've managed to avoid the system by keeping my address off things and keeping it at my parents' house and things like that over the years. I don't stay completely outside of it because nobody can.
More questions, Graham?
You've got mobile phone, you've got your bank account, they're going to run. Yeah, I've got a couple of people with hands up, so I'll bring them in. Are they questions that are coming in through the chat, Graham, or are they questions that are...
Their hands up. They've got their hands up. You can't see it?
With those. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we've got Chris Myers is next. G'day, Chris, how are you, mate? You'll have to unmute, yeah.
Good, yeah, good, mate. You got me there?
Yeah, we've got you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. G'day, everyone. Hope you're all well. Certainly been an interesting day from watching the chatter. Just one point I wanted to, a couple of quick things, but the first one is I think that the lady who just left the call, I think there was to me, what stood out about there is that's not what we're about as a group. We're not about organising protests. We're not about organising the people. We're nothing against what the government is currently saying. What we're saying is we're trying to build an alternative and we need numbers to get it there. And I think if we all have that same positioning, that way we're all saying the same message. We're not going against the government. We're building an alternative.
Well, yeah, we're not trying to overthrow the government. Look, we don't agree with the government. We don't agree with the whole structure of the government, with the Westminster system, right? What we're offering is an alternative to the Westminster system, which means that if we get enough people who want to use this alternative, the Westminster system becomes defunct. It's no longer required. It's gone. And we move into the new system. Now, before we mentioned about the app itself, we are getting... look, the software's out there. Software has been developed that could do what we need. And there are apps out there that I've now found that are similar. They've been designed recently, but they're very similar to what we're proposing, except they've been monetized. It wouldn't be too difficult to purchase the software and back engineer it, or there's other methods of getting hold of software. There's open source software there as well, and platforms that we can take it from. We do have some great software engineers that I've been speaking to for quite a long time who have a fairly good idea and understanding about what we're trying to build. I believe some pre-work was done, but thus far they haven't actually, I don't think, assembled any code. We do have a server set up so that we can have that ready to operate the system on once we've got everything ready. But a lot of the discussion's been around how do we secure it the best, because we want it to be safe. We want everyone's details and information to be safe. We don't want corporate entities using your information that you use to vote in our platform. And when I say our platform, it's your platform, it's everybody's platform. It's not mine and Graham's platform, right? Or Matt's or anybody else's. It's all of our platform. This is something we haven't built to get a gain from, apart from our freedom. That's all we're buying with this. All I get from it, I would have put 3,500 plus hours into this concept by now. I've put a lot of money into it as well, in promoting it and building it up. None of that matters. That's me, because I chose to do that. Okay, I don't ask for any refunds or any assistance along the way. I live my own life. I run my life. I don't need to be told what to do by a government, and I'm not going to vote on parties that work on preferential votes where only one of two parties can control a country where both are as bad as the other. I'm not going to live under a dictatorship or a ruler of any kind, and that I don't want my fellow countrymen to. I want us to be free, to be genuinely free, and to create our own system that works in the modern day, right? So we're not going backwards in time. Nothing changes without the will of the people, right? And we won't go backwards, we will go forward, because there are great people with great ideas coming forth as part of this. Now, I'm going to ask Lisa next. She's had her hand up for a little while, and then when I saw you put yours up down there physically, so I'll bring you in a sec, mate, if you don't mind. But Lisa, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks. I've been on a couple of these calls now, and I do have years of experience working with Zoom. So just a recommendation, the Zoom meeting feature is the best one to use. It does cost. Maybe if everyone throws $1 your way, you can handle these calls a hell of a lot better. And there can be administrators, there can be some control over the situation. You can mute everybody. It'll work a lot better. So if you can, and I'm happy
for your advice. Can we ask for your advice outside this meeting? Could you contact one of us and give us your details in chat?
Could you email me if I pop you my email address in the chat? Would you mind shooting me an email so we can make contact, or perhaps send me yours in the chat just so I don't have to pop out of the meeting to do it?
Sorry, what's your name?
Send me your email address, your contact details in the chat.
In the chat.
Get in contact with you, because just send it direct to me in the chat, and I'll get in contact so that we can.
Yeah, but which one are you? Because there's a few people looking like they're
Graham Turner.
Graham, okay.
Yeah, with an H.
Not to be confused with Graham Jeffs, which is me.
But you get either of us, you're pretty right, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Graham Jeffs I've got on text, actually. So.
Oh, well, yeah, send it to Graham and he'll forward it.
You must be special.
You and I have texted back and forth a couple of times. So.
Of course we have.
He gets around there, Graham.
I get around a bit.
He does. Okay, so I think Len was...
Thanks for that.
There's one more thing I wanted to...
Oh, sorry. No.
The AustralianProject.org. Have you got with them?
Well, trying to find information on beyond Facebook at the moment and talk to somebody, and until we sort of got...
I've got an in. I've got an in for that.
Oh, cool. Okay. We'll have a
yes,
chat.
please.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got him. I'll get him to chat to you tomorrow.
Is that the copper?
Yes.
The person I'm speaking to is not the copper, but the person I'm speaking to was on a Telegram chat with me the other day. I do Telegram every night, and he's keen to talk to us about what we're doing, and it all
Yep.
will align with each other. Yep.
Because we can't find them.
They're hard to find. They're hard
We're
to
happy to
find,
talk
but
to
he
anyone.
is around. Yep.
Good. Excellent, Matt. Excellent. Good.
We're happy to talk to any other groups, any people, anyone that believes they can help in any way, shape or form. We want volunteers. We want as much help as we can get. We can't do this on our own. This is a system of the people, as we say, and can't do it without people. There's a few of us working very, very hard on it. And when I say a few, that's probably about 40 or 50 people now that are out there actually promoting it. So
yeah, it's gone.
But
Big few.
When out of 27 million, that is only a few. So we need everybody to become involved. We've got 14.3 million voters. The more of you that become involved, the more that become members, the more that bring their friends and family on as members, the stronger the system grows and the better our chance is at changing what is going on. Not just, look, it's not going to change currently because it's going to take time to build up the numbers. But I tell you, if you've got 10 million by tomorrow on board, tomorrow we could really start to change things. And yeah, look, it will take a while to build the app, 3 to 4 months, but we don't need the app to have a referendum. And while the app is being developed, we can still start structuring the policy and everything else as a people. And we have a treasury then to pay for the app as well. So it doesn't have to come out of anyone's pocket. So nothing would be immediate. There would be a process that we'd have to go through to get there. But we're going through the beginning stages. No journey is taken without the first step, and we've taken those first steps, and now you guys are starting to come with us. Glenn, you've got your hand up, mate. Did you want to say something more? You'll need to unmute, buddy. I might be able to do it. I can't hear you, Len. You need to unmute, mate. You mute. Thank you.
How about that now?
That's
How's
better.
that? Is that better now?
Much better.
First and foremost, it's nice to see everyone online. I'd just like to start by thanking you, both Grahams, and everyone involved for all the effort you guys have been putting in. Graham has been from Sydney myself. I've only known Graham possibly, how long we've known each other now, Gray? 6 months?
Yeah, maybe. How are you, mate? Good to see you.
Hello, my friend. It's about time you see my face. So
Yeah.
once again, my sincere thankfulness to all the people working on this new QMS system. Graham's assured me that it's the light of at the end of the tunnel. I know we're all down and out and feeling so frustrated by what we've been going through, especially even today. Again, condolences to you, Matt, with those bruises, mate. You've put your body on the line. You've taken one for the team. Jesus, you're a top bloke. So just to start with that, just to put it out there, Graham knows I've been in court, guys, 7 times lately, and we won't get into too much tonight. But if anyone needs some assistance, I can let you know how you can get out of these fines and prepare yourself when you go into court. Can't I, Graham? You can. Because I have some serious knowledge in regards to me being personally to go to court. I've walked out of court 7 times. I've fronted them with the knowledge that I know in regards to the capitalisation of my name, the corporation of my name. And I also have the key that I located, as Graham knows, in regards to being a bonded debt slave. I've got the proof of it, Graham Turner and everyone who's listening. I can prove it. I can prove it all day. And I've threatened the courts with it, and they're running scared from me. I actually went to Scott Morrison's office. I've built a dossier file. It's about 500 pages long. I took it to Scott Morrison's office, and at this point, they know what's in the file. It's the pureness of all the registrations of the Commonwealth of Australia, the New South Wales state registration, Victoria, all that's in the file. But I've got a little key in there in regards to Centrelink numbers, guys, that actually I can prove to you all that marrying a Centrelink number to the corporation, I can prove it to you that you're a bonded debt slave. I found my Centrelink number registered in the United States.
Have you joined the legal team in the QMS forum, Len?
I haven't had a chance, Graham Turner. I've been sort of down and out and busy. Also, I've been meaning to get to the Zoom calls. I am sort of same family man like Graham, have some grandkids. Graham wants my file. I haven't had a chance to send it to him because the copiers are closed at the moment.
Oh, okay.
So if you need me, Graham Turner, to go into this further after this tonight, so I can get you guys this information to prove to you guys for once and all that your Centrelink number and every Centrelink number that any person's got one in Australia is registered in the United States, and I can prove it.
Yeah, cool. No, send it all through, mate. We're happy to have a look. If you've got Graham's details, pop it through to him. And if you pop it in the forum and in the news feed in the QMS, I mean, we want everybody's engagement. We want posts in there. We want people to ask questions. We want discussion around what's wrong out there. We want to know how to make it right, not just what the problems are. We want the solutions too. So we all know what the problems are. We've got a healthcare system that's controlled by Big Pharma. We've got an education system that's controlled by, I'm not even sure who controls them, but they're probably someone really bad, judging by the way that they're teaching our children these days.
The BlackRock Investments.
Who is
Graham,
it?
sorry to speak to you, buddy. I've done a bit of research on these pharma companies. They're all the investments companies. It's in my file. I researched the same as the Commonwealth Bank, who runs it and who's running the farm. One of them is called BlackRock Investments. They come out of the United States. It's all in my file, Graham, and I'd love to send it to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to.
They're all the owners of pharma companies. They're invested in the Commonwealth Bank. They're invested with everything across the whole board.
Yeah, look, I mean, the same elite people, the same rich families own everything across the board. I mean, Big Pharma was only really created to get rid of byproducts from petroleum. At the end of the day, they wanted to be able to dispose of the rubbish that they couldn't get rid of. So they turned it into what they call a medical industry. They trained doctors on it, and now they've been poisoning us all with it for years. It's disgusting, some of the things that are happening. But look, at the end of the day, we can't change what's happened and what's been done in the past. What we can do is draw a line in the sand and say we're not accepting it anymore. We are stepping over that line with a new system, with a new way of doing, governmental or governance of the country. Management, I call it. I don't like the word govern. I like manage, and I think, I know it sounds corporate, but essentially it's the same thing, or coach the country, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, to me, the language isn't that as important as it is to some people, but it is something that we're cleaning up on our site, because we recognise that language is important to a lot of people, and one word can mean a lot of different things. So it's a case of how things are correctly phrased. We're doing that at the moment through the website, trying to sort of clean it up. We've also just made the website multilingual, so people who live here who may not have a great understanding of the English language can now read through the information that's there. It's taking a while to convert all of the various text that's in there into the various languages, so it's a bit of a slow process, but we're getting there. A lot happening in there, and a lot of really good people that we're speaking to. I'm not going to drop names there at the moment because a lot of things haven't yet been finalised. There's nothing in writing yet. But there've been some really cool discussions with some celebrities who've said they will lend us some support in what we're doing as well with regard to marketing. What we really need to do is get this out to the Australian people, as many as possible, as quickly as possible. And the best way to market anything is through network marketing. And that's what we're doing. We're talking to you guys. We're hoping that you guys go and talk to other people. We've got people like, as I mentioned before, Matt, who's doing street talk. And that's a great opportunity to go out and get some footage for us that we can put on our site. So sorry, Lynn, did you want to say something further?
No, I'll just wrap it up there. I'm sure everyone else needs to have a say this evening. I'm only one of a little fish in a big pond, but as Graham knows, I've made a approach.
You're an important fish, mate.
No, I'm only a small fish.
No, mate.
I am making an approach tomorrow. Graham, just to quickly cut this, to end this, I am meeting with the Aboriginals tomorrow. I've got a meeting with the Aboriginal elders on the South Coast tomorrow. They want to see this file. The Islams are wanting to see me out of Bankstown. They want the Islamic leader I know in Bankstown, plus the Indians, the Sikh community. It's just that we're in lockdown, Graham. They're waiting on this file. I'm speaking to them regularly. So all this core group, both Greys, I'm trying to get them in. I've sent them all your information, guys. So it's just a point of continuing throwing that bait out, and hopefully they bite on it and get on with us.
Thank you.
Yep.
And look,
thanks, mate. Appreciate you.
With sign-ups, we've had a few people having a bit of trouble with some of the sign-ups. It's some of the contact forms that we've used haven't aligned, and we've had a couple of issues along the way there. Contact us if you're having trouble. We are going to manually assist some people signing up. So if you or you've got an elderly relative or friend or somebody who's not sure how to get onto our site and become a member, if you're having a little trouble, let us know. You can email us at info@qms.org.
I just put it in the chat.
Yeah, can one of you guys put it in for me if you would like?
I did it.
Could you
Graham, is it better and easier for them to come through the website, not the app?
Definitely. The website's the best landing place. They can come in through the app. The app and the website are connected in the membership.
But this is where they're having trouble, apparently, the app. They're having trouble with the app.
It's some of the forms that we've sent out to fill out. The forms haven't aligned back with what we're doing. And then, look, as I say, I'm still learning how to do it.
Yep.
I've got people that we're talking to now that are starting to help us with it. So
beautiful.
The site will improve given time, but yeah, everything is a work in progress. I was not a web designer when I started this. I wrote a concept that's come to me over 30 odd years in essentially downloads. I've had a lot of time to sort of think it through over the time that it's been coming in, and it's weird how things come because some parts didn't make sense until other parts arrived. So I didn't know what to do with it until last year, and it would have been a basis for a really great book, I thought, probably something that nobody would read. But last year I recognised things had gone too far. The government's gone too far. The Agenda 21 was playing out, and Agenda 30 is playing out, and I knew about
Well, let's keep it tight there, buddy. I think we're just veering off a little bit there,
Yeah,
Greg.
sorry, yeah,
I'm going to let somebody else speak. Yeah, we're just getting a little bit off center there.
My apologies. No, I'm just
I've
explaining where
said what I needed to do. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Graham. I'll be rude in any way, shape or form. I do apologise. Nice once again to see your face. I've heard so much about you, Mr. Turner. And to everyone else online, be well, be safe, take care of your family and stay strong. We're in this together for the long haul. We're not backing down ever, guys. All the
Love
best,
you,
and I'll
brother.
let somebody else
Cheers,
have a
brother.
chat, huh?
I love you, brother. See you, mate.
So, yeah, and look, there's many different theories on what's going on out there at the moment. Well, look, some of it we don't know are true. We do. Others, everyone's got different ideas and opinions. What we have here is a platform that we can all unify under. It doesn't matter what you believe, what your religion is, what your background is, it's all relevant. I mean, every one of us is important. Every one of us is somebody. Every one of us is loved by somebody. We're a mum, a dad, a child, right? Every one of us has a right within this country to have the best country that we can have. And you guys all pay tax for it. You've all voted for it. And what's it got you? They've ripped you off, right? Let's turn it around. Let's give the money back to the people, the control back to the people, get rid of the parliament that costs a fortune, and let the people do the job using a simple app like this. It's to me, it's a pretty easy solution. It's a no-brainer. Anyway, is there anybody else that has any questions or would like to say something? I'm not sure if Wayne Blue made it into the meeting or Jackie Dundee made it tonight. If you guys,
no, I think we're sitting on 100, mate. I don't think they got in. I just want to mention a couple of things about the QFS and Nasera Jassera, and also the Beazle, which is the system that's coming in soon, which I think it's called that, and also the Starbright or Starlight Internet. Now, there's a lot of misinformation out there at the moment on these things. We will keep you informed because we have people in the right places to give us the right information. There has been no movement on the QFS that we can see in terms of a monetary movement. There has been no movement on Jassera or Nasera that we can see as yet. The internet system that's coming in, which is being funded by what's his face, Elon Musk, is apparently ready to drop within the next 3 to 6 months. Do not be afraid of that. It's better than what we've got. It's not what the government is telling us. It's not what the paid propaganda is saying, which is the internet's going to shut down. No, it's not. It's going to transition into what a lot of people in layman's terms are calling internet light. It will be more secure. It will be encrypted to the point where it can't be hacked. Well, they always say can't, never say never. And all these things are happening at the moment. Just remember to think with your critical brain, because there is a lot of information coming through that is what we call controlled propaganda. And you have to be able to sort out what is real and what is not. Now, Matt said it very succinctly on Friday night. I loved his live. He was talking about stop dwelling in the negative and start thinking about the good things that you can do to live the best life you can. And I actually, mate, it was worth the syndication. It was a brilliant live. And it's true. We are dwelling on the negative, and that's what the corporations and the UN and the New World Order, that's what they want us to do. They want us to dwell on the negative so that we get so depressed that we can't think logically or with our critical brain. We can only think from fear and intimidation, and that's when we make mistakes. That's when we forget that we're not slaves. We're free men and women. We're living, breathing beings. We were born free and we remain free forever. Only the maker of us, the creator, whoever you believe that is, has more control over you than anyone else. You are an image of your creator. You are crowned, you are sovereign, and you are important, and you have rights, and you need to stand up now and go tell everyone else that your rights are never ending. They're inalienable. They cannot be taken from you, nor can your crown or your sovereign. So just keep that in mind. Keep it in your heart. Keep it in your mind. And when you're thinking about things, think with the critical side of your brain, not emotion, not even necessarily logic, but the critical side. So what's the best scenario of this situation and what's the worst scenario of this situation? Who's promoting it and what's the benefit for the people that will be involved in it? That's the critical things you need to ask yourself. So it's not about, do you like the color of their tie? It's what are they selling and what are they making out of it and who's benefiting from it and who are they saying is benefiting from it? These are the things that we have to ask ourselves. Pharmaceutical companies have immunity from the governments all around the world. Why is that? Why have they got immunity? If they've got nothing to hide and if they're proud of their product, they shouldn't have immunity. The government bandies immunity around all over the place because they want people to think that that's just because, there's a lot of crazy people out there and they want to stop it. So the pharmaceutical companies will do, all these beautiful things for us. Well, we know that's not the case. So, stick with us. We know where we're going. We know how to get there, but we can't get there without you and the 5 people that you bring to the QMS to have a look. Remember, it's only a proposal. It's not a prospectus, but we do believe it is the answer. And all we need is you. Mixed together with the QMS, we got ourselves a brand new way for a brand new day. God bless you all.
And Graham, with what you said just then, I think it's beautiful. And I think that the thing that is resonating with a lot of people in the discussions that we're having, so we really have to have discussions, and this is what you're talking about, go out into the street, go into the supermarket and talk with your neighbors. These are your comrades, these are your community. Yeah. So go out and have the conversation. And the thing that we need to remind people is the people have the power. They've just forgotten it. They've gone through all these years of being put into a system. They're so indoctrinated into it that they don't even question their taxes. They don't question these curfews. They don't question lockdown. They don't question anything because they're so stuck in the system. So if you can ask that simple question of, do you trust your government completely? Because if you say, do you trust your government? They go, I think they got our best interests at hand. You say, do you trust them completely? ScoMo's covering up sexual abuse. We know about pedophile suppression orders. You don't have to go into all of it, and I don't want to go off track, but most people don't trust this government. And if we look at them and say, do you want a system that works better where we can unite together in love and power and kindness and live a better life? Is that what you want? And that can come from a discussion of saying, live your best life every single day. Get up and give gratitude for what you have and make a goal of what you want by the end of the week or the end of the day, even if it's just getting out of bed at the moment. But I think if we find that common ground with people, this thing will go through the roof. And I should have brought it up the other day. I saw your text. It would have fit into that conversation so well that I did on Instagram, but I didn't because it was a live. On lives, your brain's just going a million miles an hour. It would have been the best plug for it. But I'm getting on tonight, so I'm definitely going to mention it on my live tonight.
I love your work, mate. I love your work. You're a warrior, buddy. Now you got a war wound. You can get We'll give you a purple. We'll give you purple after match your purple bruise.
Thanks.
No, you are, mate. You're a legend, Matt. You really are. We love your work, buddy. And we want you to mention it every single live you do when you can. So try and think of it more when you're doing them, if you wouldn't mind, because we really do want to get the word out there, and you do have a big influence. So
no, I'll give it a big push tonight.
appreciate
Excellent.
it, mate. Love your work. Thank you, mate.
All right, another question.
Yeah, we've got James. Sorry, Andy, just hold off. We'll get James in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry if it's
2
relevant.
seconds.
Yep.
I'd just like to say,
Yes.
I'd love to see 1,000 people in next week, and I'm happy to assist in the finance of that. If some other people want to join me to try and get the Zoom up to, you know, a reasonable number that we can grow. We're stuck at 100 at the moment, so I'm happy to chuck some coin into the equation because I believe in it.
Thank you. If anyone wants to contact Andy and make arrangements with Andy to help on that, that's between you guys. I don't want to get involved in any financial stuff because I don't want to take any credibility away from the system we're building. So thank you, Andy, for raising that, because I would have footed the bill, but yeah, it is quite expensive, and I'm doing it as hard as everyone else at the moment. So yeah, you guys speak to him. I want to stay out of it. Thank you, though. James, sorry, mate. We'd love to.
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, good. Yes, I can see that Scott Morrison is all about crushing us. He's not about helping us, and he wants to either get more taxes out of us or to kill us. There is just no two ways about it. And
there's a lot of money involved in buying vaccines, especially when you have shares in specific companies as well. And there's a whole lot of deals that get done all the time in politics. So
yeah, but he's taking our freedom first, and then he yeah, well.
Yeah, no, you're right, and they drive their policies through fear. They go out there and they scare the hell out of people to get something to go their way. And at the end of the day, that's not what the QMS is about. The QMS isn't a fear tool. This is a real tool. This is something that you might say, I want to change the way a particular system works. So you can go in there and put your input in there. And when 1,000 people say they want that system to change too, it'll start up in the news feed. And it'll actually start to show that this is something that's being discussed. 1,000 people are now talking about it. We've got 27 million in the country. So one voice, I mean, look, you can always lobby people in to get your 1,000. So if you go to your friends and say, I've got this great idea that I want to get going in the QMS, can you jump on there and, you know, give me some support in there? That's how you might get your 1,000. Or it might just be that 1,000 people think this law needs to change and propose that. So when that happens, it comes up in the newsfeed. It'll stat up until it's got the 10,000. Hits the 10,000, the experts come in and review that particular policy. So they'll look at it from all angles. They'll be volunteers. They're not on any payroll. That they're going to be you know, able to manipulate the country or the people for a particular outcome. And I mean, of course, they'll be vetted and checked to make sure that they're not part of that. The QMS will eventually become administered. Like we're building it, yes, but eventually there'll have to be a public service department that administers it. We're not going to be holding the reins on this forever. And as if you've been to the site and you've seen some of my work, I'm a rank amateur, I'm learning. But I'm doing the best I can to build a site of the people and for the people, and to show people that there is an option out there, because you all need hope. You all need something to aim for. We all need a place to go. And at the moment, what have we got? We've got a system, we've got a place to go that they've shut the door on us, and they're the people who are hurting us. As Matt said before, you're in an abusive relationship with your government. The only way to end an abusive relationship is to walk away from it and create one with yourself. And the QMS is that opportunity to do that, because that's what you're creating. You're getting your word out there. You're getting a voice. Now, Karen's been involved. I just saw her go off screen then when I mentioned her name. Are you still there, Karen? Karen, there's in the QMS, there is a statement in there that you need to be Australian born. And I'm going to hit this right on the head. Karen, did you want to have a talk about that? Because that does not, even as the author, that doesn't sit well with me as a statement that you have to be Australian born. But we have said, and there's a number of different ways to do this, everybody can put the policy in, everybody can be part of the expert board, everybody can add weight to a policy. When it comes to the actual voting stage, that's when you have to be Australian born. But now, Karen, this is where I hand over to you, because Karen's got a UK background and she's got a team working on this, because it doesn't sit well. We're not racist. We're just trying to protect the integrity of the system from potentially communist or other countries with tyrants that may want to manipulate it by using the people that they have residing here. And they can do that in certain cases by saying, we will kill your people at home or your friends and family at home if you don't vote a particular way. So we don't want to leave it open to that. And that's the only reason I propose that. But Karen's working on finding some solutions on that. So I'd like to bring her in now so that she can say a little bit on that, please.
Thank you, Graham. Yeah, there have been some concerns, and I've had some people contact me in the last week or so, ranting and raving and quite upset about that part of the proposal. I have already held a meeting, a discussion meeting already. It went absolutely fantastically. Lots of different things were brought up, so we've now got some more additional research to do. And some of the people couldn't attend, so the rest of them are coming on board next week. And basically, we're just going to rejig that statement because new information has come to light and different perspectives have come to light from different backgrounds. And we're just going to rejig that so that it comes across different to what it does now. And it gives hope for the future in where this statement for some people does not give any hope, and it makes them feel that something's being removed and something's being taken away, and they feel that that's not fair. So we're just going to rejig that, and I'm working on that with the team at the moment, and reword it and bring in some other legal lawful information that's come to light from Wayne Blue and other people, and see how we can redo that. And we are working on that, so please don't be afraid about that.
When the QMS, when I first started, sorry, Karen, to cut you off there, but the idea was that we were always going to get it working here, save our own country first, and then hand it on to the rest of the world, those that want it. We have actually built some websites for other democratic, Western democratic countries as well, that some of their people in those countries are aware of. They're not using it like we're using ours yet, but they're there just so that they can get a bit of a feel for the idea of what we're building and how we market it. What we've said is that if somebody wanted to swap membership between member countries within the QMS, that would be a fairly easy thing to do, because then they can't be voting in two countries, and you shouldn't be. If you're going to reside in a country though, then yes, you should have a vote in that country while you're residing there. Maybe other people think they should be voting if they reside in two countries, that's fine. That's, again, nothing is decided without the will of the people, because at the end of the day, I'm one person, I've got my ideas. I'd like to see the world a certain way, but I'm not the only person that lives in it. So, and I like to put forth all of my ideas might be able, from my perspective, to create a beautiful world, but then I'd miss so much of what your ideas are and what you guys think and believe and all that. And it wouldn't be as beautiful as it could possibly be without everybody coming on board and doing it together. And that's what I'd like to see become our future down the track. It's, if we work at this, if we develop it together and build it together, put the policies through, get the process going. It's the will of the people and the masses that get to decide at the end of the day, the way that we sit, the structure we have, the way the policies work. And I mean, society improves because at the end of the day, you think about it, if we don't have people stealing money from us because we parked in the wrong spot for 5 minutes too long, or they've towed our car away because we weren't quick, we were held up at our appointment, we didn't get back in time. And if anyone's had that happen, you're out of pocket $600-700 straight up. There's so many things that are just wrong with the way that the system works. Maybe it should be incumbent on councils to have parking areas for people near the places of commerce that people need to access, near the doctor's surgeries and things like that, near schools. I mean, I don't know how many people have been fined for picking up a child from school and not having somewhere to park because all the parents turn up at once. These are things we can change. The dumb little laws that are in place that just are there to take money from your pocket. We've had somebody estimate about $2.1 billion a week goes into the politicians in wages, pensions, staff, travel, the rest of it. That's a huge amount of money. If we took that money back, and imagine what we could do with it in our country if there was no political system to support financially, if we didn't have to do it.
Immigration?
Once. Yeah. Well,
back to immigration?
Sorry. Yeah, back to immigration. Now, we mentioned the other day, there's two things, immigration and emigration. If you've come from a country that's part of the monarchy, I believe, then you've immigrated. You've immigrated. Yeah, you've immigrated if you've come from a non-aligned country. There's talk around that side of things at the moment as to how we manage that, because as far as most of the general feeling within the legal teams is concerned is that immigrants should be awarded the ability to vote within the system. And as I say, I don't have any problem with however this lands, but we have to maintain the integrity of the system. It's not about being racist or disclusive or cutting anyone out. It's about making sure that the people who live here permanently, who were born here permanently, who are, and that's even the people that move here are safe here and that their vote is safe. You wouldn't want to come from a country that's, say, got a communist rule party in control of it, be living here, have your family at home threatened to vote a certain way. What a horrible way to have to live for them and for their family that they've left behind. Right? I would hate to see that happening too. So there's so many things that when people talk about black and white, there's no black and white in politics, as I've discovered, even though I don't follow politics. This has given me a very good dose in it. Karen and her team, if anybody wants to touch base with Karen and get involved with the team, Karen, did you want to let them know how they can do that?
Yeah, I'll put an email address in the comments. But we've already had some fantastic stuff come into this meeting. I'm not going to talk about it now because it needs to be researched a little bit more and evidenced. But once we've done that, it's very exciting what we're coming up with. So we will have some good news very soon.
We've got about 10 minutes left of the meeting, so I just want to ask if anybody else has anything they'd like to say.
Graham,
raise your hand.
Matt,
can I just jump in for 2 seconds?
Oh,
I think
okay.
the beauty of QMS and the way that it works is whatever term of reference you come up with Karen and the team that are talking to her, say if you say someone needs to be a citizen for 5 years before they're part of the system, or whatever it is that you come up with, whatever it is as a team you come up with, that if they're in the Commonwealth, they're part of the voting system straight away, whatever it is. Once this all gets running and once there's a critical mass of people, you put it to a referendum to get what we want anyway.
Exactly.
So the people have the power, so that's beautiful. And it's just a matter of, at the start, everything's not going to be necessarily perfect for every single person, but you have to have a leading term of reference to get it going. And then once people know that they're coming into a system where they have the power, you'll nut everything out within the first year or two, or 18 months or 2 years. It'll happen quickly because the people have the power to then vote and do these referendums to get it to what they want it to be, to have our country running the way it should run.
And look, one of the things is once we get the country that way, you probably won't need to use the tool that often. Once it's up and running and the people know what the rules are and that they've created and that they've been part of designing and developing, the only time you'd ever go there is if there was, say, some sort of global thing came up or something that drastically changed, or there was an emergency that needed to be dealt with. Beyond that, you might go there for a term of reference or something like that, or your children might go there to learn from it. But once things are set in place and we've all had our say, and the thing is too, if along the way, the people make a mistake and put a law in place that shouldn't be there, then people will vote it out of power as well. Once it's there for a little while,
exactly,
people will propose to change it, and then it'll get changed very quickly. You're not going to have politician resistance. You're not going to have to go through the red tape anymore. This is real-time change of policy because we can do it very, very quickly. It would really come down to how long it took for the experts to be able to go through the information and matter that they were doing with reviewing it as policy. And then writing it up as a policy. And we want everything done in common language, not legalese. Legalese is confusing and requires lawyers. We want people to be able to manage their own affairs at all levels without having to, come to a government, help me. You shouldn't have to do that, really. If you need help, you'll get it. You just get it. You shouldn't be doing it on your knees.
Can I just ask?
Sorry,
can I just ask a question? So if we get the numbers with this QMS and then we do a referendum to request to implement it, is that something that would go directly to the Queen or through the Governor General, who's part of a corporate government? Or what's the logistics on how implementing it if we get the numbers work?
Is this mine?
Yeah, you need to handle this. Wayne.
All right. Okay. Who am I speaking to?
Timothy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Craig Timothy. Yeah.
G'day, Craig. How are you, mate?
Yeah.
All right. Let's look at two things first. You mentioned two different things. All right. Now, we haven't had a lawful Governor General since 1960. Okay, so let's get that up front. So the Governor General is not the Queen's representative. Secondly, the Queen, there is a cloud over whether or not the monarchy is still in power. However, by our lawful constitution, Section 128, we have to go to the Queen. But once we have the will of the people, all we're really asking the Queen to do is to give us a determination. She's either going to prorogue the Parliament, which means we're going to get rid of it anyway because we're going to go to a referendum to get rid of them, or she's going to step back and say the British Commonwealth and the British monarchy does not want to enter into this, in which case we're going to get the result we want either way because it's a constitutional event that will occur where there will be an election. Okay, so regardless of whether it's an election or a referendum, they have to own up or put their hand up to one. So it doesn't matter because we will have the will of the people. See, what we're not doing is we're not replacing this government. We're not overthrowing them. We are removing the Commonwealth and the Commonwealth out from underneath the corporation and placing it on the QMS. The government the Australian Government Corporation is a foreign entity. Every single thing that they have done since 1908, we haven't had a lawful election in this country since 1908. Okay, so everything that's been done all along the way, the most notorious being 73 when Whitlam changed the Acts Amendments Act and the Royal Styles and Titles Act and created the Queen of Australia, which is a fiction. And then he registered the Australian Government Corporation. Then in 86, Bob Hawke went to the UK with the Australia Act and came back with a document that was initialed in the corner ER and said that it had royal assent. So he forged the documents and put it through. That took us out of the British Commonwealth forever. So it's all unlawful. Now, the Queen has never, ever offered to step in because she doesn't have an obligation unless the people tell her she does. Does that make sense? So in other words, without the will of the people, which is the majority of the people, we cannot do anything and she cannot do anything. Now, she could, but she chooses not to, and we don't know why that is yet. We've got an Article 61 lodged in the UK High Court sitting as a Privy Council since January 2019.
That's
which
the one
has
that Wayne did, isn't it?
Yes, it has not been actioned, and it's sitting there with 8,500 signatures. Right now, if and when that ever goes to a hearing or a mentions date or anything like that, that's when we move with the rest of the signatures, which is over 500,000, to put as the will of the people. But by then, we're hoping whatever happens to that case, that we have built up, literally hundreds of thousands, millions, if possible, to put to that case. But regardless of that, Wayne will echo what I'm saying because we've discussed it at length. We just need to force a constitutional event, and we haven't been able to do it with the Article 61. And so now what we have to do is we have to pressure with the will of the people in an alternative platform, which is the QMS instead of the two-party preferred system.
Yeah.
So membership adds weight to the numbers we need. That's
absolutely.
Why we're promoting the membership so hard. Now, Shauna had another question. Did you want to?
It's just very quick, Graham T. Just for anyone who doesn't know, this is housekeeping. If you want to save the chat, at the bottom of the chat on the right-hand side, next to the little smiley face, there's 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots and it will give you the option to save chat, and it will save the whole lot.
That's only for co-hosts, though, isn't it? Or hosts?
No, everybody can do it.
I think everyone can do that one. So
it's only for computers. It doesn't work on phones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll keep a copy of that and we'll put it up on the site anyway. We'll also have this video up on our site and we'll put it in a few other platforms.
Thank you for that. I love learning things.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. I really appreciate that. Now, Alish had a question as well, but sorry, just put your hand down. Did you still want to ask it, or you need to unmute? Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I've just been watching Mike Lindell's, audit of their elections, and it was a 3-day amazing symposium. And I was just wondering, along with, the reforms that you're suggesting, would we be able to ask for a digital forensic audit of our own recent elections, seeing that Germany and Venezuela and Brazil and other countries have also undergone what America's just gone through now? It's just they're the ones that have, come out with it. I would suggest that our very own leaders would also be placed there by, a dark cabal, and seeing if we can get perhaps our election forensically audited. It was just a question because, you're talking about elections.
I'll take that, mate. Yeah, I'll take that. It is very, very expensive to audit an election. In my opinion, we have enough evidence to convict these bastards 10 times over, probably 100 times over. We don't want to waste any more taxpayers' money on it because we've already proven that the two-party preferred system is unlawful. So there's no purpose behind it other than satisfaction and a lot of money. So I don't know whether that answers your question, but
Graham's got more info coming next week on that, don't you?
Yeah. I do.
I heard some info last night too from Serene Tefahar that New South Wales don't actually have a state of emergency, an official state of emergency.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're pushing
say
back
that again?
against that now. They're pushing back. Serene's found that there's not an official state of emergency in New South
No, there isn't.
Wales.
Yeah.
So it looks like they can go after all the different fines and fines and
Directives.
taps on the wrist that they've done or whatever.
Yeah.
I was just going to say with Eilish's comment before, I think it's a really great thing that can be done, but it's probably something you want to get like a Reignite Democracy or another political party to chase it, to get the funding if they want to do it. It's probably not something that a QMS, because we're going to move out of the system altogether.
Yeah.
You know what? I can tell you now that it would cost tens of millions of dollars to do it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know whether we don't need any more evidence, but, it's a good point though, Eilish. I mean, the elections all over the world are being audited now for that same reason, but we've already got enough evidence to do what we need to do with the QMS. So, I suppose
if enough people wanted it, once the QMS was in place, they could do it, because if enough people really wanted to, if they proposed it in the QMS, it'd come up and it had to be taken to trial and sorted through that, and then it would fall in the hands of the judiciary.
I can't imagine people wanting to spend that sort of money just for satisfaction, because we've already got them over a barrel now. So,
I imagine the legal costs would come down a lot once the QMS was implemented, because there's no one getting fat off it. So
no, but that's not getting fat, mate. That's a raw figure. Because they have to they get it done. They're not going to let the legal system do an audit. They're the system that ordered it.
Once the system has been adjusted by the people in the QMS and becomes a lawful system of the people, that's a different story, because if you're not requiring trial lawyers, barristers, and all of
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that they're not letting anyone in the system do the audit. They've got real people doing the audit, so that figure is real figure, not a blown up figure by using lawyers and barristers. These are professional auditors that come in. Forensic auditing is not done by the legal profession.
I realise. I'm just saying, if you wanted to bring them to trial, because they will know that they're ripping the election.
We don't. We're just semantics. We don't know.
The same system was used in Australia as Dominion, but it's not actually called Dominion, it's Systematic or something like that. It's going to go right back to show that many countries have actually been fraudulently doing the elections.
Every country that's used that system is going to be audited.
Yes.
Well, as you say, when you mix people, money, and power, a perception of power together, you get what we've got. So take all that away, strip it away, and what you really need is a policy-making process that the people agree with and abide by, and that's what the QMS is. Give the people money and power, and give the people the real people of the country are saying how it's wrong. And
All right, we've got a good question there, Graham.
Yeah.
What happens to the government when the QMS is established?
Well, do we need them anymore? Once the people run it, like, I don't know. I'm not going to do anything, but personally, I haven't followed them my whole life. So, but once the
I can
QMS,
think of a few things.
I imagine I know Graham and Wayne have got a few things they'd like to do, and I know Dylan Wilson's got a few things he'd like to do on too. But at the end of the day, we're building a tool so that we can unhook ourselves from the corporation, so we can decorporatize, decentralize, and get away from it and run the country ourselves. So we're pretty much at the end of the meeting. But if anybody would like to contact us, the team, you can do so at info@theqms.org. Jump on our website, become a member, bring your friends, bring 5 of them, ask them to bring 5, and within, I think it's 8 to 10 times that we do that. So if each of those people brings 5 more in, we will have our 9. In fact, we get over 10 million, I think, in 8 or 9 moves that way. So that's the way to do it. Get out there and network, talk about what we're doing, show people there's nothing illegal. It's not, we're not running a coup. We're not doing it like, it might feel like it, but it's not. What we're doing is we're offering an alternative way of managing the country. It's called having a political opinion, which you're totally entitled to. If we can have a Nazi party, if we can have a communist party in this country, and the QMS isn't even a political party. It's not politics. We might be taking on the politics, but we're not politicians, and it's not politics. We're giving you the policy making system that you guys use to change the way things are done. And yeah, they will be defunct. We won't need them. They'll be jobless. That's the end result.
They're a corporation. They'll be disposed of like any other corporation. And then the directors.
Graham, we're just offering a foundation. We're just offering a foundation.
Exactly.
All we're doing is giving the foundation to the start of the
We're up.
stick. You know, for all of us.
It would be illegal to try and
part of.
It is illegal to try and overthrow a government. We would not want to do anything unlawful.
Yeah.
So, and illegal.
And I think we're done. People are leaving, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to shut the meeting down now. So if anybody would like to contact us, please feel free to email us. Jump on board. We've got the Facebook. We've got across every platform, I think now, thanks to Karen. She's got all those working. This video will be put up. So if anybody wants to review anything or show it to friends, family, or anything like that, please feel free to do so. The last week's meeting is up in the QMS website as well.
Can I just ask Karen a question? You still there, Karen?
You need to unmute.
I am. I'm still here.
Have you got a list of all of the links? Because I've for some reason, I've got some links that don't work or they take me to the wrong place. Can you send me a list of all the links that we have, all the social media?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Love your work.
By email.
Thank you.
So,
Graham Turner, it's Ross here. Can I just ask one quick question?
Yeah, g'day, mate. How are you? Good to see you. Graham, this is Ross that I mentioned the other day that you and I need to have catch up with next week.
Oh,
yeah, okay, yeah. I was just going to say,
Ross.
did you? Sorry.
Not that, Ross. It's all right, mate.
Did you get my emails that I sent you, Graham Turner?
I did. Yes, I did, mate. I haven't had a chance to go through them properly yet, but they have come in.
Okay, cool. That's all right. That's all I want to know.
Cheers, brother. All right. Well, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming tonight. Great. It's great to see you all here. It's great to know that the QMS is getting out there and that we're starting to develop support in it. Engagement, membership, networking. I mean, look, in unity, we'll defeat them. We will win the situation. It's only in unity that we can do this. If you want a better world, start with a better country. Put your best version of yourself, as Matt said, your best version of yourself forward every single day, right? Get out there and do what you can to bring people on board with what we're doing. You don't need to wake them up, right? This is to bring 3D to 4D. So if you bring people into the system, all you need to do is know that they don't trust the government. And I mean, I don't know many sane people who will say they trust a government or you know, a corporation or marketing. We get people that don't trust us, and we're really being altruistic. I mean, honestly, the people working with me are such amazing people. All of them have beautiful hearts. Nobody's paid for anything. They're all doing it because we love our country. We want to make sure we have the best country in the world for our children to grow up in, and we're sick of this rubbish that they're doing to us. So we will change it. We hope you come with us. And thank you again. Really appreciate having you all here. So good night, everyone.
Good night from me and good night from me.
It's good night from the G-Man and good night from the Colonel, isn't it?
That's it. Love your work, mate.
You too, mate.
See you, buddy.
Bye.